You hate ads? I hate ads. You know what I like? Patreon.com/inkdependence keeps this channel ad-free. Hello folks, welcome to Inkdependence. I'm Mike, and it is halfway through September, give or take, and so it's time to take a look at the first 15 days of my 30 inks for 30 days. I guess challenge is what we're going with on these, and I've been posting them over on my Instagram channel, which is at inkdependence over on Instagram, and I thought I'd go ahead and give you a video here at the middle and kind of at the end to show you what I've been doing this month, because I've been using these really fun Wearing Ghoul sheets, which have a nice little printed ink bottle there and a couple of lines just for doing ink swabs and this kind of thing exactly. So it's kind of great. There will be 3 of these pages when I'm done. I'm at 1.5 now. So let's talk about 15 inks and 15 days so far in September. All right, day 1, September 1st, Kakamori Hello. This is an exclusive ink for Yoseka Stationery out in New York, and I have had this pigmented ink in this Sailor Pro Gear Old Fashioned for quite some time. I actually don't remember when I put it in here. I'd have to consult my ink book to figure that out, but I just kind of keep refilling this pen with this ink because I really like the combination. Something about this green and orange pen giving me this nice brick red pigmented ink has been really good. I will see a couple of feathers on here, which is kind of odd. I'm not sure exactly why that is. Perhaps I had a thumb there or something and it was reacting to some oils or something like that, but I don't really see feathering from this, so that's kind of interesting. September 2nd, Colorverse Dakota Thunder, and I've had this in this here Pelikan M800 with, what is this, a medium nib? No, this is a fine nib one for a little while. This was my very first Pelikan, and it's got a really nice wet nib, and this Dakota Thunder is a really interesting brown. It's kind of a warm brown, and it should have a whole bunch of green sheen, but I think somehow this paper kind of ate most of the sheen here in the swatch. You can still see some of it here on the letters of Thunder right there. And I really feel like you have to put that in all capital letters and sort of say Thunder with a truck rally sound. That's just kind of the way it goes. All right, September 3rd, I sort of forgot what I was doing here, but whatever. This is Nagasawa's Automatopoeia Foo ink. I think that's how you say it, is Foo is the pronunciation I saw. And I'm not sure what color this ink is. Like, it's kind of brownish like this, but it's also kind of like this. It's sort of a combination of the Kakamori Hello and the Dakota Thunder, and you get this interesting sort of, I don't know, maybe mauve color, but it's a really interesting color, and I've had it in this pen, which I picked up in DC. This is a Nagasawa pen, so I felt like that fit nicely. This is the Platinum 3776 Silhouette, and it has a big old C nib on there. You can see the block of tipping on there is huge. Oh, hi, Mr. Nose. Hi, I don't really need your help right here. Hi, don't really need the help, buddy. How about later? All right, 3 down. Number 4. September 4th is a really interesting ink. I've got it in this Galen Leather Kaweco Sport, which is a nice sapphire blue color. And this ink is a KWZ Galen Leather ink called Sapphire Blue, which I thought was going to be much darker. And I actually had no expectation this was going to have shimmer in it. But it totally does have some shimmer in it. As you see right there, bunches of shimmer actually in the right light. So really interesting ink, pretty pen. I've been liking that one. Next up, Andrew Williams Cuttlefish Brown, and this is one that I have in this pen right here, which is a tactile turn gist. This is from their original Kickstarter launch of this pen years and years ago. It has a Damascus section, really beautiful pen, and I like writing with it a lot, even though it's a little bit short, but posted very nice, and it does have these little tactile turn grooves there in the grip and the body. You can see there it's kind of emblematic of that that company's work. Really dig that pen, and this ink is a really interesting one. It is super duper dark, as you can see here, but when it started drying, I think I was just at the very end and this had dried out in the pen a little bit, so I refreshed it with some fresh Cuttlefish, and you see it definitely gives you the same kind of shine on the top of it, maybe a little bit of sheen or something, but you do get more of the brown there, so oops, sometimes that happens. All right, top of the next one, September 6th. This is Sailor's Yurumiku Seiki, which, as you can see here, is a beautiful gray with all kinds of like pink highlights. And let me tell you, this ink is different on every paper you try it on, basically, and it's never not cool in my experience. I've had that in this here TWSBI Eco Cement for a long time. You can actually see it's running out. I need to refill this one because I'm just going to keep using this ink in this pen. I don't really match inks and pens very often, but this one is very pleasing to me for some reason. All right, number 7. This is Pannonia Strigoi, and this is this is sort of the dregs of this ink in this pen. This is sort of like the Pannonia Draculea, which was a red ink with black shimmer, not shimmer exactly, black like a nanopigment black dust in it, and so you get this like weird red with some like black bits in it. It's very interesting. Strigoi, on the other hand, is I think a super dark navy. It looks like, and it's actually got bits of red pigment in it, which you can see better in the pen, unfortunately, than you usually do on the paper. Some papers will let this show more, but I just kind of think the red is not it's not really working with the super dark navy there. It's not as visible, and so it's not quite as pleasing as Draculea is for me. Next up, Andorilium Flapjack Octopus. I drew a little Flapjack Octopus while I was doing this one. This was one that I did live on one of our live streams on Friday afternoons. This is a great ink. I've got it in another TWSBI. I really like these TWSBI Ecos, obviously. And this is... I forget what this one's called, Sunflower or something? I don't know. It's a bright yellow and it's an Eco T, which is my favorite version of the Eco. And this ink in here is really nice. Flapjack Octopus is a very nice bright orange, kind of a pure orange. Really like writing with that one a lot. Next up, September 9th, which was Birmingham Sunburst. And this is one that I've had in this pen, which is a little lavender Pro Gear Slim that is really Audrey's, but it has a zoom nib on it, which I hardly ever use. And I'm not really a huge fan of the zoom nib. It always kind of feels weird to me, but it does have interesting tipping going on there. You can see like the grind on it is just very strange. It's kind of got this hook. It's got all these different planes. The zoom nib is a weird one, and it will give you very, very fine lines or very thick ones depending on how you hold the pen and the angle you're writing with and all that, which is neat, but I just kind of decided to want to use a yellow ink in there. So I used Birmingham Sunburst, which was sent out by a friend a while back, and that's a really nice, very readable yellow, totally worth checking out, I think. All right, September 10th, my birthday. Another shimmery ink here. You see a fair amount of shimmer in here, not as much as I was getting from that Galen Leather one, but definitely a fair amount of shimmer here. This is Robert Oster and Atlas Stationer's exclusive ink, Vampire Pigeon, which is really fun. It's about some drawing that I think Brendan did one time, so they made an ink with the name, which is, I really like that usage of, or that way of coming up with a name for an ink, just like some random thing. That's how I got Cheerio Water Bus and some of the others. So really nice. I've had this one in this here pen, which is a narwhal pen, or a narvalure from Galen Leather. You see the Galen Leather Co right there on that side. You can see some of the shimmer in the walls here. This is a double broad nib, and it definitely puts down enough ink and definitely puts down enough shimmer. It's kind of cool having this blue and red combo here. You know, my colors are like, my favorite color is probably orange, but I love blue and red as a combo as well. Go Mustangs. So been using that for September 10th. Real nice. All right, sheet number 2. Started out sheet number 2 with Robert Oster and Galen Leather. Another one of those, it turns out. This is Admiral Blue, and I've actually had this color in this pen for, I mean, it must be going on a year. I really like this ink in this pen. This is a Pilot Capless or Vanishing Point Firmo, where you twist the end of the barrel here instead of clicking it like you would with most vanishing points. This ink has been great in this pen. It's got a nice shimmer. It's got a beautiful blue color. Can't really ask for more out of that kind of blue, and Robert Oster really does a great job with those. All right, September 12th, Diamine Cult Pens, and this is Gruntled Guava, which I bought for the name, but I actually do like the ink quite a lot, and I paired it up with this nice Shone design that I picked up in San Francisco. This is a really pretty ombre on this pen. I got one of my mic face nibs on there, and I believe this is an Uranagi nib. I didn't write it down, but I'm pretty sure this is the Uranagi nib that Matthew Chen made for me last year in Atlanta. So real nice pen, very nice nib, good combo with this very summery sort of ink there. I dig it. All right, the 13th. This is Diamine 150th Anniversary Golden Honey, and I have this in a London Pen Co. pen. Go check out London Pen Co. This guy is making really nice pens up there in London, Ontario, Canada. This is a beautiful cellulose acetate material. It's got all kinds of depth. You can see there's like chunks in here that are just clear, and then you have the other chunks of material that is in there with that clear kind of floating around. You get a really cool effect from that. Hard to pick up in pictures, doing much better in video, honestly. And I have in here a Bach double broad nib that my wife ground down for me. These Bach nibs are definitely not as double broad as you might think. It's more like a broad, probably a large medium, but does work well once you get them tuned. So there you go, London Pen Co. and Diamine Golden Honey. Only 2 more to go here for this video. We're almost there. September 14th. This is an ink that has kind of become a favorite of mine recently, and this is Ferris Wheel Press Oyster Hour, which is I don't know, it's kind of I guess a cool brown with like a tannish kind of tone to it. Really interesting sandy sort of color that you don't see very often. I have that in a pen that you don't see very often, which is a Schoen design. This is I don't actually know what this pen is ended up being called. It's not a normal production pen, but it does have these great swirls through it. These grooves cut in it and almost kind of like a rifling sort of shape. Not quite a spiral because the line starts here and ends right down here. So it doesn't go around the pen, just sort of gives you like a groove across. And it's a very, very cool pen to look at and also a great pen to write with. All of Ian's pens are pretty awesome that way. Next up, and lastly for this video, this is Diamine and Sugar Turtle Wet Turtle, which is a really nice green. Look at that. It's kind of emeraldy, kind of piney, and I decided to put this in a pen that I have just gotten. I got this one at DC. This is the Diamond 580 ALR Twisby Golden Sunset, I want to say this one's called. I was like, I just have to have it. I don't really care what the name is, honestly. But it's a nice, very nice demonstrator barrel here. You can see the green through it, and it works really well in this medium nib I have on this pen. So yeah, no regrets in this one at all. Really like this green a lot more than I even thought I was going to. So well done there. All right, so that's it. 15 pens, 15 inks, less than 15 minutes. You're welcome. So there you go. I hope you're maybe if you're doing a 30 inks 30 days, you can put a link to your Instagram or something down there below in the comments. Let me know what your favorite inks were here and what kind of inks I need to be putting in my next 15 days. I know I need some more greens. Audrey was calling me out on not having enough greens. Some folks called me out on not having enough oranges. So I've been trying to remedy those situations. But let me know what kind of colors you'd like to see, and maybe I'll throw them in there sometime later this month. All right, that's it. Until next time, peace out.